Welcome to the world's first Straight Talk Solarcast. This is your go-to podcast for answers about solar. Brought to you by Solar Harmonics in Northern California, who invite their customers to own their energy by purchasing a solar panel system for their home, business, or farm. Each episode, we discuss questions facing people making the decision to go solar. The solutions to your questions are given to you straight by one of the leading experts in the solar industry, Jamie Duran, president of Solar Harmonics. Feel free to search our library for answers to questions that you're facing when considering solar. And now, here's Adam Duran, our host with the questions, and Jamie Duran, our solar expert with Straight Talk Solarcast.
Hello, Jamie.
Hello, Adam.
How's everything in the land of solar this week?
Yeah, a little frantic, a little, excitement. A little, people are excited to go solar, and if things are not going to their timeline, sometimes. It's a little the end of the world, but we have to manage that way, manage expectations. So some things we're in control of, some things we're not, but it's been a great week for sure.
Okay.
Really warm out here. I just, want to start with some good news, or for the bad news first.
Thank you.
The sad news.
Okay.
Which is your sad news or good news, Adam?
Let's go good news first.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
So in a previous podcast, we talked about a requirement from the California Contractors Board that said if you had a C46 solar license, meaning that you're licensed to install solar, that you can no longer install a battery. And everyone's, what? Exactly. And everyone in the solar world said, well, where did this come from? And because there's been no issues with solar installers incorrectly installing batteries.
Okay.
And the Contractors Board said, well, because there's electrical going on, you have to have a C10 electrical license. And everyone said, what? We've been installing batteries for years and years, but now that as batteries are getting more and more prevalent, it seemed odd timing that the Contractors Board would just make this decision that from now on, you have to have a C10 license as well. And that means you have to go through a minimum 3 years of apprenticeship with a licensed electrician, and then take the exam, and then you also have to do 3 years of practice after that. So as a journeyman electrician. So
okay,
it's not a small license to just add on. And so the Contractors Board, all the solar contractors said, no, that's not correct, and we're going to fight it. And today, a San Diego County Superior Judge said, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So has temporarily blocked this. So now, at least for today, solar installers can now install batteries again. So it's it was kind of funny because the judge just said, well, if solar installers can't do electrical, then why do we have this designation? And they've all gone through the schooling and the exams, and they've been tested. And do we have any incidents of incorrectly installed batteries? So at least it's sad that it had to go to court, but it is happy that a judge with at least some common sense or some sense said that he sided with the solar side. So that's nice.
That is awesome. So was the solar industry not installing batteries until this? Or
they were installing batteries, but what they had to do, and so a lot of solar installers, like if you needed a main electric service panel upgrade at your home, say you had a 100 amp panel and you had to upgrade it to a 150 amp panel to install the solar. A lot of times, solar installers would, if they're not allowed to do that part. So that's all electrical. So they would subcontract that out and have an electrician upgrade the service panel, and then they would add that into the project. And so, electricians are really expensive, which, kind of goes along with their training. and it's pretty important to have a licensed electrician work on your electrical. But then the solar guys would come and make all the connections, and everything's good. And so it was kind of the same thing with the batteries, as that solar installers would install the battery, make all the connections, and then if there was no upgrade, they would tie it to the main electric service panel. Really similar to what they would do with solar panels. So thankfully, this judge agreed and said, "Oh no, I don't think you need to do that." Especially battery installation is getting much more simple and much more straightforward. Removing a lot of equipment that is not necessary anymore. So, good news in the land of solar. So, but why did that happen?
Congratulations.
Yeah, apparently the electricians union said, "Hey, contractors board, you need to make this so only, or you have to have a C10 license so we can keep this going here." So, yep. Sorry, electricians, we still love you, but we still need you. But now we can install our own batteries. So, but we still like you for the service panel upgrades.
Is this a final decision?
No, temporary.
Okay, so for today.
For today.
Yes.
And so, that was kind of the good news this week, and woo. And so we'll see how it goes and see if the judge continues his block of this contractor rule. But another sad thing that happened today, boy, oh boy.
Yes.
I hear some solar horror stories, and the reason I relay them is because there's still lots and lots of people out there who are going solar. And many people make the decision to go solar based on price. They'll look at, oh my gosh, this one, and especially in this net energy metering 3.0, if you ask 5 solar installers to give you 5, or to give you one proposal for their home, you are going to get a wild range of prices. And there's still so many people that are just going with the cheapest. And there's a lot of solar companies that are really struggling out there. And so they just really want to keep their guys moving and employed. And so they're selling below cost, which is not a good long-term strategy, because eventually you got to pay for materials. You have to pay your employees. You have to pay taxes. You have to pay payroll.
You got to stay
taxes.
in business.
You got to stay in business, bro. And if you don't, then what happens is really similar to this woman who called and said, "Can you help me connect my solar?" And I said, "Why?"
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. And so 2 years ago, 2022, someone knocked on her door, and she answered, and they said, "You need solar." And so she said, "Okay." And she said, "I'm in my late 70s. Why would I need my electricity bill is less than $100 a month. Said, you need solar." So they went ahead the very next day. They were up there installing solar. It was a flat roof, and in Hayward, California, which kind of, most of the homes there were built, in the 50s or before that. And so they're really small electric service panels and flat roofs and tar and gravel, which means those are the roofs most susceptible to water leaks. And so fast forward to, so now they installed the system. They applied for a permit. They did not get the permit, and they walked away. And and so she's been paying for this system for 2 years.
Wait, what?
With a solar lease.
Away.
They walked away. Yep.
How did they still charge her?
They went out of business. And so her solar installation went to a lease company. Lease company's been charging her ever since, but no permit, no permission to operate. PG&E has no connection to it, so she's not getting, these panels have been up there for 2 years and not generating any. Well, they've been generating power, just not going anywhere. And she's been paying it, and her electricity bill is going way up, and she has roof leaks. So from the solar.
Is that the trifecta or the quadfecta?
I don't know. It's just so many things to iron out. And how could I help her? It's really, now you got to call the city and say, "Hey, city, you approve, or you issued this permit. We need to get it retracted or canceled." And the permit has run out, and so she will have to get a whole new permit. But no solar installer is going to really want to go up. And I told if we did it, we are going to have to remove everything. We're going to have to have a roofer come in, seal the roof.
Yeah.
Likely re-roof the project. Then we come back. We would install the equipment, and she says, so how much is that going to cost? I said, well, essentially, it's a whole nother installation, and we don't do leases. We still don't. And so she said, well, I don't have any money, and I don't, I'm on Social Security. What am I supposed to do? I said, boy, oh boy, this is really tough. And I looked up the company that installed it, and they are out of business, and they were from Texas, and 1 star all across the board, and not the greatest outcome. But he was a friendly solar guy in a collared shirt, and she remembers him, and he gave her his cell number, long gone. So it's really sad, because those are the exact type of projects that give solar a terrible name. So for those people listening, if you do have someone knock on the door, you can still listen if you want, but do some diligence. And anyway, it's really sad with this person, but hopefully she gets it worked out. I don't really know a good solution for her, but this is just one of the worst solar stories. So we had some good news, and we have some sad news. So
and there really is no solution, because every solution starts with her getting a brand new roof.
Yep, we got to start with the roof, and making sure anything we put up there, is going to not cause more trouble. So, but yeah, her roof, I'm sure, is 60 years old and needs replacement, and she doesn't have any money to do that. So,
isn't part of the process to do an inspection before you put any solar panels on a roof?
As I mentioned, they sold the system, electronically. So she signed an iPad. She has no paperwork on the system, and they were there the very next day. And at that time, it was taking 30 to 60 days to get a permit. So they were installing without the permit, and installing. I've heard of this before, and huge violation. You're not supposed to do that, but yeah.
But the company too. I mean, this sounds obviously, to me anyway, like a massive lawsuit. Like an enterprising young attorney would be able to be like,
who are you going to sue, Adam? They got to be in business.
Yeah, a leasing company, whoever's taking money. No.
Yeah.
I mean, stop paying that, and then they'll sue her, or they'll do something.
Exactly right, because there's a lien on the house.
Right.
Just like it'd be like not paying your mortgage, so they could evict her and sell the house. So
fight to remove that lien. I mean, because the product is never. She did her part. Okay, obviously we're not going to.
I know. It
sounds horrible.
And she has, late 70s now. So not. Imagine our mother trying to deal with this. It's not.
So if you have a mom out there, everyone, and she answers the door, just tell her don't sign anything, please.
Yeah.
I mean,
or check with you first, or share the podcast. Press play on your phone for her, and every week go and see your mother and press play, because this is going to be a nightmare, because her heirs will inherit this as well. So it's brutal.
Happy Mother's Day, y'all. Wow. This is brutal. Yeah. Any heirs will have to take on this loan, but without a system on it, and with a leaky roof.
And a roof, yeah. Oh, and the service panel, definitely lots of trouble. We'll wrap it up there, since the dogs are telling me I'm out of time.
They've had enough. Okay, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for taking another little bit of time out of your week to learn a little bit more about solar. Thank you very much. If you want to hear more of Jamie's dulcet tones about solar, we've been doing this podcast for 6-7 years now, so you can go to our website, solarharmonics.com, click on the podcast link at the top, and you'll be taken to a library of our past episodes. If you have a question for Jamie, you can send us a question through our Facebook page, Straight Talk Solarcast, and send us a question through there. Jamie will be sure to get to it on another episode. If you have a friend considering going solar, this would be a great podcast to recommend to them. If they have a mom who's living on their own, or dad, this would probably be a good idea for you to call them up and say, make sure that they have not saddled themselves with a lease or something like that. Before that happens, share this podcast with them and you'll help them. So until next time, everyone, see you.
That's all for now. Thank you for listening to this episode of Straight Talk Solarcast with solar expert Jamie Duran. Join us each week for more answers to your solar questions. Speaking of questions, got some? Email us at solarcast@solarharmonics.com and we'll be sure to give you an answer in an upcoming episode. This episode of Straight Talk Solarcast is brought to you by Solar Harmonics, the leading solar energy developer in Northern California, who invite you to own your energy. Visit them on the web at www.solarharmonics.com.